Your phone battery is at 1%. You didn't get there in 1 second. You got there 1% at a time, and you ignored every single warning until the last one. That's how every big failure in life works. In this episode of Think Like a Mathematician, we are going to be examining how mathematicians think about error and how they mitigate the effect of error so that you will not be involved in the build up to a solution. So kindly watch till the end. Most of the time, a disaster starts as something very small, something you didn't even flag as a problem. It's just this once, a habit repeated without thinking, and one day that small thing sends you a final alarm. 1% left, just like your phone battery does. I'm a mathematics teacher. I watch this happen quite often. A student solves a 10-line equation. Somewhere around line 3, they make an error. Where they were supposed to write -5, instead they write +5. One symbol and that's it. They keep on building on that error. Line 4 uses line 3's answer. Line 5 uses line 4's answer. By line 10, the answer is not just a little off. It's a completely different number. Sometimes it's not even the right sign anymore. A novice in mathematics will see correct steps and point out the wrong answer and think maybe the error is from there. But the rule of the mathematician is to trace where the error comes from and maybe do a follow through. Mathematics have a rule for this. If you have a decimal number in the process of your calculation, don't round it off early. Round off only at the last step. The reason is you can't judge an error by how small it looks at the moment it happens. You judge it by what it is connected to. And the funny thing is, that's not just mathematics. That's how life works. A small mistake turns dangerous the moment you build on it instead of fixing it. Picture your neighbor carrying out construction. The foundation is off by a few centimeters. Somebody points it out and he waves it off. Ça va aller, on continue. On gère ça comme ça. So they lay the next row of blocks on top of it. Then the next row, then the next. By the time the roof goes on, that few centimeters has become a crack running down the wall that everyone in the quarter can see. The kind of crack that makes people ask, is this house even safe? The mistake never got bigger on its own. Row after row just got stacked on top of it until the whole compound was carrying an error nobody wanted to stop and fix. We are all guilty of this through one way or the other. Maybe with money, you told yourself a late payment wasn't a big deal, and 18 months later, you are juggling 3 creditors and can't remember the lie you told which one. Nobody wakes up one morning and decides to ruin their life. They wake up one morning already living in a building they built block on block from a wrong foundation. A foundation they never went back to check. Nobody becomes indisciplined overnight. It starts with "I'll do it tomorrow" once, then it becomes a Thursday's excuse, and then it becomes every day's excuse. That's how you become indisciplined. Nobody destroys their integrity in one lie. The first lie is always in quotes small. You tell your customer the goods are on the way when they haven't even left the supplier. Now you need a second lie to cover the first, then a third one to cover the first two. One day you are the person juggling stories just to avoid an uncomfortable truth from months back. Nobody drifts from God in a single decision. It's "I'll pray after this meeting. I'll open the Bible tomorrow. Today I'm very stressed up." One skipped Sunday becomes a skipped month without going to church. A skipped month becomes a season where you look up and don't recognize the person praying because you are no longer that person. The first compromise was never the danger. The danger is calling that first compromise normal. The final challenge on this version of Think Like a Mathematician is that Find one small thing you have been ignoring, the habit, the compromise, the unresolved thing you keep stepping over, the task you keep postponing for later. Don't wait for the crisis version of it to show up. Go back to the line 3. Fix the sign before it runs through every line affecting it. The truth is, big problems rarely start big. Great lives rarely start with one big opportunity. Both start the exact same way, with one small decision, repeated until it becomes who you are. Be faithful with the small things you have today. Small things don't stay small when they are well nurtured. It's the CEO of Kameh Surprise. You are headed for the top, for the bottom is crowded. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Like, share, comment, for that's how others will discover this amazing content we are sharing. See you on the next video. Thank you. Be blessed.